We're live. Oh, welcome to Sweetcast. I liked the format. I'm not even all set up here. How professional is this? I got to get my audio going. All right. Yeah, I kind of liked the last time how I just started the stream. We got it going because you kind of have to get people warmed up and in the room anyway. And then I sent some links out. So as soon as we get people popping in, then we'll have people popped in. That's the only difference, really. Other than that, we're here going. So it's been kind of fun actually lately because I feel like I'm running a publishing company for the first time. Partially because I've got 2 books that are already created, they're already printed, and people are still buying them. At the same time, I've got the next book that's on Indiegogo, and so it's just kind of interesting. At the same time, I can't help but be thinking about what the next book is, and I think I know what the next book is, but it kind of depends. And so we're going to talk about a lot about it today. In the meantime, Robert Roberts, Hell's Xenu Count Clint. Is that a Scientology thing? Appreciate it. Hello, Robert Roberts. Hell 9. Hello. All right. Almost first. Though this was all, to be fair, everything says 8 p.m. So you could have all posted at the same time. Mike Jenkins says, yeah, buddy, Downcast 2 flipped the script. That was kind of the idea. It was fun to write. I just watched a review of it today. It was like I call it an official review. It was a video review. So when you put their time into reading it, putting their thoughts together. So that's always helpful. I've been hearing lots of email feedback, which has been really good, really nice and helpful. I'm still I feel like you hear back from some people, but it's hard to know what the crowd of people are thinking. Yeah, that's tough to know. So I might send out a survey again. I don't know anybody else that does that, but I did that after Downcast 1. It was good information. I don't know, it was just nice to sort of see, even though it was only like 150 people that responded. That's better than like 4, or you get maybe like the first one, maybe there's like 9 reviews or something. So yeah, that's good. Kelsey Shannon, I got mine. So slick. Thanks, buddy. Hey, appreciate it, Kelsey. You just did such a great cover for that book. So I really appreciate you. No hurricane damage. At first I saw hurricane damage and I started to panic. It's like, no. So I'm glad you got that. Okay. And now that you're posting things, it's reminding me, I thought that at one point I thought that I'd send out all the comp versions, but I don't think I have. I don't think I actually sent you any comps. I think you backed it to get your own cover. So I've got to make a list of everyone. I think Eric got comps. I've got comps out to editors, but I just want to make sure I've got everyone taken care of. Here we go. Loved it, man. I want the album and the t-shirt. The album and the t-shirt. I don't know if you're talking about Downcast or something else. So clarify. Mike, oh yeah, Downcast 2. Okay, yeah, I appreciate that. Great. Okay, here's another one. I just got Downcast 1 and 2. Haven't read it yet. Cool. Glad you got it. Enjoy the books. Yeah, I'm interested to hear. I'm kind of just letting things lie. If you read it, I don't want to spoil anything yet. I'm going to give everyone a little bit of time, and then I'll do a little bit of commentary on it. But I don't want to go crazy with it. Yeah, Kelsey, I did back it, but I'll take my comps. Hello, eBay. Yeah, Kelsey. Okay, let me send you some comps, especially because you did the cover. That's kind of important. Yeah, totally. Cool. We're getting warmed up. I did invite. I see AL is saying that Peter is still going. Peter's stream is still going. I'll be right back when it's done. Do you see that? The power. I keep getting flashes of power. So Peter said he'd come on. He's going to pop on after his stream is over. That's the plan. And I just want to pick his brain a little bit because why not? It'll be fun. And we've got Charlie Snogans here. How's it going, Charlie?
Howdy. How's it going, man?
How's your weekend?
Well, I don't know. It's blurry.
Yeah.
Once you're streaming into 4 and 5 a.m. and then I was at a Guinness, so I was drinking that lady drink that I had in the fridge. I don't know what it was, that spritzer, and well, we do have Guinness now. My wife just told me the good news. And so I don't know if I always forget, if you drink, it's a lady's drink. It's got sugar and juice in it. That after a bunch of scotch is it's not a good combo.
Not a good. It's probably good to have a Sunday off then, huh? We've been streaming so much.
I started something from Malin now, so I got to finish that up.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, a little fun bit. It's a lot of fun. But also today, my wife and I got him a new remote control car, and he's 6. It's his first one. He's over the moon. It's all he wants to do. So the big problem with the remote control car is, everyone in the chat, Clint, what's the problem?
The problem, batteries. That's what I would say. Yeah.
So he uses it. It sounds almost good. He uses it and he's super into it. We took it around the neighborhood, and then the battery's dying. He had to bring it home and recharge it. And he's just between each charging, waiting. Can we take it out again? Is it charged again? Is the light blinking? Does that mean it's done? Can we take it out again? Just hang on. So that was actually a lot of fun to do while he had a hangover.
Yeah. the loud sound of the electronic motor running.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking, this is so much fun, but that lady's drink. Oh, that lady's drink.
Too much.
Don't that fruity drinks.
We were streaming on that Star Wars Girls channel. She was nice enough to have us on. We were really appreciative of that. But the thing lasted nearly 6 hours. And I don't think it was a fun stream and everything. I just don't think I'm built for streams that long. I'm not sure how some of those guys do those all the time, these big long streams. I
was all right with it until it was getting later and later, and Malin mentioned ice cream, and I was drunk enough for that to just ding. I ran to the refrigerator and said, "Me too, John Malin," and I started eating it just right here like a pig. And then later afterwards, it wasn't that I was so tired and going to sleep or drunk or anything. It was shame. It was the shame, the fat man shame. Oh
yeah.
But I don't know if you saw what I was eating. It was chocolate and vanilla with cone bits in it. Bits of cone right in the ice cream. Delicious.
Nice.
I mean,
sounds good. I had ice cream earlier on Saturday. I had 3 streams on Saturday. It's been nutty, but yeah, in between there I was like, I'm gonna have some ice cream. Me and my wife got some ice cream, so that was fun. Sunday I just couldn't anymore, so I stopped. And it's funny because, like, I remind people of this. I'm gonna share my screen here real quick, and that is, like, ultimately you're the biggest driver of traffic to your own crowdfunding campaign. You can get elsewhere, you can get on streams. It's nice, it helps because you get a different cross section of people. But I didn't make a video on Saturday because I was just streaming so much, and then I didn't make a video on Sunday because I was just done. I needed a break, but I think that hurts. It slows down the campaign. So back up on it again. Post a video today, and here we're streaming. So it's been good, but we're sort of in the mid-campaign grind. We're only 7 backers away from hitting 800 backers, which is very, very good. Still 17 days left on this first 30, so it's pretty good. I'm going to post the link. I think I saw moderators posting the link as well, so I do appreciate that. Post this. So if you haven't backed it, maybe been putting it off or whatever the reason is, today's a good day to do it. And it's fun if you refresh it on stream later and you have backers. That's always nice. So
what are the moderators? How did they get that gig? Are they like RAs in a college dorm? What's a moderator?
It's a lot more simple than that. They just say, I'll be a mod, and then I click on their name. I have to be in YouTube, not StreamYard, but I get into YouTube and then I click on their name and it says add moderator, and that's all you have to do. It's pretty straightforward.
Do they work for YouTube?
No, it's just regular viewers that will post links for us. They're just volunteer. That's it. So far,
for the fun of it and everything.
Yeah, just to support the channel. They're just good people. That's it.
I love it. I had no idea.
It's nice. The only time I'm gonna adjust my camera here. The only time I've ever had a moderator that abused their power. Let me see. Oh, come on. Was actually my wife. It was an accident. She was in there and she was just scrolling and she clicked.
Do you want to say hi to Clint?
Clicked and banned somebody from the channel. So I had people saying, "What? Somebody named Steph was canceling people." I was like, "Oops." So she was like, "That was an accident." She didn't know how to undo it. So, hi. Hello.
Now say good night, Clint.
Good night, Clint.
Good night. How old is she?
4.
4. All right.
She just turned 4 in May. And she's the one who loves Princess Leia. She was Princess Leia for Halloween last year. With a fully made-up suit from my wife's a ceramics instructor. And one of the other ceramics instructor is a seamstress. So she actually made a Han Solo suit for my son and a Princess Leia suit for my daughter. They were amazing. And the whole lead up into it, though, I was proud of my son because he thought of clearly Han Solo's the coolest one. That's for me.
Yeah.
And but he's blonde and they're brother and sister. I thought, dude, you look good as Luke. You look perfect. He just wasn't having it. No.
Han Solo is the coolest.
He is, and I think that's when I was 18 or 20 and waited in line outside the Ziegfeld Theater to see Phantom Menace, and as we're watching it, the excitement is just we've been waiting all our childhood for this to come around again, and you start watching it, and as we were watching it, we were thinking, what's going on here? This is not. What is this? What? And then you leave and you think, oh, they're kids' movies. And what's missing is the coolest guy in the galaxy, Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
You realize it later. Oh, George Lucas is some weird dialogue. Especially when he tells her, what does she say? Hold me like you held me in Tatooine or whatever.
Says. All right. Yeah, that movie.
You go, oh my goodness. Never have I gotten more of a douche cringe, just chills, than when I've heard myself on film.
Yeah.
Hear myself talking like, oh my God. Oh, Lord. I'm as bad as Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, that is some terrible. Writing romance is not for everybody. I really think it's kind of like comedy that way. Like there's some people that are just good at comedy. Romance is the same way. You can't just be good at romance.
Have you tried to write romance?
No, not really. I've had I've had like a love interest, a romantic element in both of my novels, but it's very, very minor. And it's more of like male romance, like Die Hard is male romance. Totally real thing too. But like, for men, it's fixing, so if there's like their relationship is in tatters and all he has to do is just shoot people, cut his feet on glass, do that kind of stuff, and through the course of all that you fix your relationship. That's a romance for men. So
well said.
Yeah. Let's see, I got a question here. Oh, he says from the Green Laser, hello, by the way, says, Clint, do you know any good publishers who print hardcover novels at a decent price? I don't know about publishers, but printers. I use API that's what I use for Downcast. They're very quality. They're kind of pricey though. That's the downside. And I'll admit, we were talking about this in the back channels a little bit, but their communication is lacking, I would say. They're not very responsive, which is kind of disappointing because their product is great. But that's just one. There's other people using Mixam. I don't have any experience with them, but there are a few printers out there that can do hardcover. I would suggest don't do print on demand hardcover. My brother-in-law did some print on demand hardcover, and they make the spine too big for the book. It looks terrible. So I don't know. Hopefully that's helpful. Yeah. Cool. Well, I think we've got a good show planned for tonight. We're not going to go 6 hours long, so buckle up. It'll be breakneck speed. We're here to promote Fatal, of course. We're here to also talk about what it might look like to have a monthly book or something like that without mainstream comics. So sort of going out. Ethan talked about the subscription plan today. I just want to explore it a little bit because I think it's interesting. Not necessarily subscriptions, but what would a monthly print schedule look like? I invited Peter to the stream. I know he's streaming. It's kind of inconvenient, but he said he'd come on when he's finished. So hopefully we'll have Peter on here pretty soon. And last but not least, we've got all the submissions in. Charlie, you're going to love this. All the submissions in for the fan art contest, the ads for Fatal. I've got a bunch of them. So we're going to go through those tonight.
There were amazing ones. A couple of them were just spectacular. I was blown away.
Yeah, and there's more.
There was a Michael C. did a great one. I'd have to look at more Twitter, but god damn.
Yeah,
they're fantastic.
It's fun. So I think I have all of them collected together. I popped them all into Photoshop just because then I have them all in the same place. So we'll look through those, and then the plan is I'm going to pick one that is my favorite, and then Charlie's going to pick one. These don't, it's not necessarily, I don't know, it's whatever criteria. It's how we feel at the moment. So there could be any sort of justification. It's going to be hard because there's so many that are just great. AL in the chat is saying mine sucks. Thing is, I loved yours too, AL. It's just so cool to see other people sort of playing around with the characters and I don't know, making ads. It was fun. So yeah, appreciate everyone that tried out. So we will pick a winner tonight, and I'll make it official and send out emails to the winners, and we'll make it official. So first off, before we get into the show, before we dive in and talk about monthly titles and what that might look like, I just want to show you guys a little bit about Fatal. This is what, we're still got to promote it always. And I'm really, really excited for this book. The longer that we get into the campaign, the more that I'm just getting better at conceptualizing what it is in a nutshell. I went on a lot of streams on Friday and Saturday, and it was just fun to talk about this. So it was really great artwork, great story. I'm very happy with the story, very proud of it. And it's, $25. It's very competitively priced. That'll get you the wraparound cover here, or you can get the variant cover, whatever you want. But let's watch a little bit of this trailer, and I better remember to share the screen correctly. Hold on here. Share audio. Why they do that, I'll never know.
Received a transmission from the planet Bandra. Shall we give it a listen?
I'm calling you because my planet is sick. And not the monarchy, not the royal guard, not a single person on this spinning rock seems to care. It started gradually. First, it got into our heads. By the time I realized something was wrong, by the time I woke up, they were already here. Things look perfect at first glance. But that's how the aliens work. That's how the invasion starts. A slow boil. I'm calling you because I can't trust anyone here. You're off planet. You're a professional. And I'm afraid we might already be dead.
Flynn? How shall I respond?
It's a job. Let's suit up.
All right. There's the trailer. Maybe you've seen it before. Maybe you haven't. Maybe you're new to the channel. But yeah, check it out on Indiegogo. And if you have already checked it out, don't forget to share it. That really helps us out. The next stretch goal is at 50,000. Maybe that's a big jump. I never know, you know, how far of a jump to make stretch goals. But the next one is at $50,000. And at 50,000, we're actually not that far away. At $50,000, every backer receives a fold-out poster. So these are just like the ones that you'd get from any of Richard Meyer's books. The 11 by 17, it will be folded. It'll fit into your book, but everyone will get one. So it'll be fun. So check it out on Indiegogo. All right, I saw a couple questions in chat too. Do you have more pages to show? We can't show too many pages. We've shown a lot of pages already.
No, I think there's 10 or 11 on the.
Yeah,
there's a lot out there.
That's a lot of pages. Yeah, we got to save some. You can't give it all away, but I get it though. They're fun to look at. Let's see. Green Laser says, I haven't tried to set up print on demand on Amazon. How hard is converting from ebooks and making your cover slash spline slash back cover? The hardest part with the Amazon stuff is you have to figure out the exact dimensions, and they have an equation for you on how thick to make the spine based off of how many pages you have and what paper stock you have. It's not the worst. I mean, you just follow the equation and add it in, and you can figure out the spine width. But the problem I have though with Amazon is that they use Create Space. You can have it exactly on, and then when you get it printed, it'll be just slightly off still. So you still got to get one printed and then sort of adjust. You got to eyeball it. And that's the problem I have with Amazon print on demand. It gets you a book. They're fine. They work, but they're not like very nice. And it's noticeably different, especially if you've done any printing in the past. But yeah, you're talking about pre-press stuff. Ebook versus print is different. You could hire somebody, or you could sit down and learn it. For that, you're going to need InDesign, Adobe InDesign. Maybe there's other programs, but that would be the one I'd suggest to learn to do pre-press for anything like that. Yes, that is Vaughn that did the voiceover. Did a great job with that.
The incomparable Von Klaus.
Yeah.
Hello, Von Klaus.
K Manifesto. This is this is a question that. Yeah, he says, love the coloring. Any chance Charlie can do it all? Yeah, we're still looking for a colorist. I'm waiting for samples, but we want somebody that's gonna make Charlie's art shine. So don't worry, it's gonna look great. Okay, I think I'm caught up. I'm sure I missed some stuff, but yeah, he is Charlie Snogans. He can do it all. He could, but should he? It's an ethical question at this point.
I have to do. I mean, that would be one heck of a stretch goal to put me on the coloring, because that would double my time. That is
at least.
I think the coloring. Well, because I'm not a comic book page colorist, so the coloring actually took me longer than it took me to draw the damn thing, which is weird. I never thought of it in those terms. And I don't know if anyone else does it that way. You know, maybe Kyle.
I would be interested to see their process, like Kyle's process. Yeah.
You look into, so Ethan said his pages could take anything from 2 to 3 days per page.
Yeah.
And if you look at Cyberfrog, the detail that Kyle is getting into as well over Ethan's detailed stuff, it could take him that long per page. It's a serious thing, and I'm sure he's kept that up. I'm sure he's not, easing off on that effort.
Yeah. Colorists too. I don't know. There's something with specializing, I think, too, that you can get faster at it. You know what I mean? Like, that's your one thing. But I don't know how much. It kind of depends, I guess, on what kind of coloring you're doing. But yeah, we're still looking for a colorist. If you're a colorist out there and you think you can match Charlie's coloring or exceed his coloring, that would be cool. Then let me know. Send me an email or something, and we can have you do a sample page. I'd love to see that. So
yeah, the main idea is don't step on the drawing. Keep it clear. Keep it organized. That's sort of task number one. Task number two is add something. Especially, with Kyle, the effects are off the chart for what Kyle's doing. And I don't know how much of that is. Sometimes you see the planets and the stars, or fire, or trees, and I don't know how much of that is he's actually using photos, or brushes. I love it. I always meant to DM him and ask him, "What are you doing?" I think I told Ethan in the stream the other night, this is the Strunk White. This is the benchmark for what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
The style notes, the style guide.
Right. And
no matter how good Ethan's black and white is, I know what he's doing. There's no, because it's black and white. There's no, it's toggle. It's toggle on, toggle off. Or even if it was photographic, I would still know what he was doing, no matter how good it gets. For Kyle, parts of it, I'm thinking, I don't know how he did that. It's tricky.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's impressive. I like to watch sometimes just coloring tutorials, or they're like a speed coloring. What do they call that? Like a time lapse colorist do those post on YouTube. They're really fun to watch, but it's always like, why? I don't know. I'll try to like figure out the reasoning as to why they chose certain colors, but it looks great and it makes sense. You read it correctly, like how the lighting is working, but arriving to the decision, I don't think I'll ever understand that.
Well, also the setup, the drawing has to be a nice setup too for the lighting. So they do work together, and Ethan knows how to lay that track for Kyle to plow right over it. It's nice. It's good stuff.
Absolutely. All right, we're gonna talk a little bit about monthly books. We'll see if Peter can show up, or when or if. No pressure. But I am curious to kind of see what the chat thinks as well. So the thing with the comic book industry is they're putting out books monthly. Sometimes, like in cases of Spider-Man, I know they're putting out 2 books a month, which I can't even fathom how much effort that would be in like the creative teams to make that all work. It seems crazy and unnecessary. Even a monthly book for many people seems kind of crazy. It's a bit much. But I don't know. I've been kind of thinking about how 1 book a year, technically with Downcast, it's like we put out 2 books in a year, because I sent out the one, it was November time, and then here in August, July-ish, you had the next installment come out, and so it would almost be like 2 years if I was just continuing the one title like that. But it feels like it's such a long time to wait. I'd almost want to do it faster. So I had a few ideas of how that could make sense. One would be to do 6 issues worth of a story. It would take a bit of investment in time and money up front, but if you did something that was 6 to 8 issues long, and then you put that out once a year, and it was in a trade paperback format, then you could release singles like through Alterna, for example, later. And it would make sense for people to get a trade, be competitive price-wise, all that. It could make sense. The other option is, what if you had individual issues that you put out and people signed up for subscription, you backed it on Indiegogo, and you each got like special covers if you got the Indiegogo version, and then you could put it out later again through Alterna or whatever, and you did, they had different covers, they were a different version of the book. This is another I did too that TKO did. All right, digital plus box collector's box. So if Luis, let me know if I'm interpreting this correctly. So it would be, you buy the book, you buy the year's worth of book, a story, however many pages that's going to be. And with that, you get a box that has however many issues, 6 to 12 at the end of the year. But in the meantime, you're getting a digital issue each month. So you get that monthly fill, but you still get your comics too. I'm guessing that's it. Correct me if I'm wrong, let me know. But that's an interesting route, and that's what TKO was doing too. They called it like the Netflix binge method, where they put out 6 issues at once in a collector's box. I thought that was interesting. Printing cost is the weird part, though. Let's see. Alex says, I like the Clint method best. What is that? Is that two a year? I think that's what Downcast was going, 2 a year, 52 pages.
Well, if you do two fatals and 2 downcasts, you're up to 4 a year almost.
4 a year, yeah. Oh, it's 2 different titles, yeah.
Yeah.
That
you're just about doing that. You're about to be doing that. Maybe.
That's like 200 pages a year, really. Like if you're doing 52-page books, it's a lot. It's a lot of pages. It seems like, yeah.
It's a lot of pages for the artist, but for a writer,
no, yeah. For me, it wouldn't be a big deal.
You could write 10 comic books per month.
That might be pushing it. I don't think they'd be very good, but I could I could write 2 though. I could write 2 a month. That's the thing though too, is like from a writing perspective, and like I heard Ethan say this on his stream, is creatively speaking, you want to do more because you're only doing these short little, it feels like you're writing a short story and you're trying to make this big epic thing in a short story format, because it's got to last people, for 6 months at least until they get the next book.
Well, I mean, I listened to the front half of that today, and I kept thinking, wasn't Malin, I don't know if anyone floated this, isn't Malin creating some shipping hub, right? That's what he's up to over there?
Fulfillment center, yeah.
Fulfillment center, all right. So, I mean, if I keep bringing this up, and I don't know if anyone else is responding. I keep thinking, put something on the books that puts us all together, whatever it's going to be, a logo, a title, something. And then somebody says, oh, I'll pay my $10 this month and I'll get 4 books. And the 4 books go to Malin. Malin packages them, and Malin ships them. That's what he's building. So, I mean, 1 month you get a Jawbreakers, a Downcast, and a Graveyard Shift. And then the next month you get Sidekicks Island, Fatal, and a Cyber Frog. And then the next month you get, Rattle Brick Road, Monster. Three books a month each of the people that are creating them, they do all the same things, but instead of having them shipped to their house, they have them shipped to Malin, and Malin sends them out. And Malin puts 3 books in, and boom, whoever has joined, that's their subscription or whatever the joining thing is. I mean, how that's all divided, but that's all I was thinking when Ethan kept talking today about how it would work. That's how it could work. Malin's building it.
Yeah.
I haven't told Malin that.
Right. Yeah, the part that gets complicated is money. Like, right. I'll tell you, if I paid somebody to fulfill downcasts, I would have lost money on both
Right.
campaigns. So that's rough. That's a tough pill to swallow.
Right, but that was young Clint.
That's right.
Now you're older, Clint.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, there's something to that, especially international backers. And I think international shipments, and this, yeah, Louis says yes to save on shipping more comics together. I think there's something there, especially in the UK. I wish somebody would set up, I don't know, you'd call it like a distribution hub that you could send. So distribution hub orders, Indiegogo orders, essentially. People you'd have to put your orders in through the distribution hub. They order the books, and then it would look like me packaging up individual books for individual people with names on them and everything, and then putting them all together in one large box and shipping it off to Europe. And then that distribution hub would receive it and then locally distribute it. I imagine that would bring the price down quite a bit on shipping. But again, this would take some serious coordination. Let's see. A handful of years and then floppies later. That's the Clint method. Oh, it also plays the Sean Gordon, the Murphy method comment. Yeah, I don't know. He claimed that method is the Murphy method. Yeah, so for me, it makes sense if you're doing, like, let's say you did one downcast a year campaign, but if you had enough, like you knew we were going to do this thing, and you did, instead of it being 50 pages, it was 100 pages, and then you have the one big trade paperback that comes out. People can buy it on a yearly basis, and then you have floppies come out later. I like that idea quite a bit, because then it makes it an economical choice for people. The only downside is it would be very expensive for me up front to pay for almost 100 pages to be finished first. That would be intense. And so Nacho could do it. The thing is, he could do it. It's just he wouldn't be working on other things, which he is. He apparently is doing a monthly book, I hear. 10. How many good ones? I've got to look at let's see.
Somebody said the Murphy method. That sounds like some terrible form of birth control. Some Irishman.
Sounds like a back alley.
Some Irishman said, "It's okay. We're gonna have sex. It's the Murphy method. And I'll just have a lot of whiskey. That'll be it."
Yeah, it does.
Then,
that is a little weird, huh?
And then you'll have 6 kids. The Murphy method. It was good.
The Murphy method is just pop them out, I guess.
Irish birth control. Not effective.
The Green Laser says, I would like digital as well, along with the book. I have a 32-inch TV and my monitor, so digital comics work well in addition to the printed book.
Oh, is that where you read them, Green Laser? On your TV?
That's
That's
interesting.
so cool. When the iPads came around in 2010, that's when I started buying comics again, a lot, and picked up all my old Jack Kirby's that because I wanted to know what Jack Kirby was doing and John Byrne was doing, and Frank Miller and Sienkiewicz. And when the iPad came around, instead of being a kid who can't find the reprints, everything was just available everywhere you looked, right? So I scooped them all up that way. And now, but now years later, if those apps go away, I think the Image app is going away, and the way that I used one went away, and then it got sucked into Comixology, and the books disappeared.
Oh,
So I was like,
that's what
that money that I spent is just gone.
That's what I worry about. I bought some digital comics just to try, and I read them on my phone, and I don't know where they are. I have no idea how I know I purchased them. Like they weren't a rental, they were purchased, but I have no idea how to access them. I think I don't even remember where I bought them. That's part of the problem. I thought it was Amazon, but
yeah, it never even dawned on me, and I think that was Zach's big criticism, is that you don't have it. you bought it and you don't
Yeah.
actually have it.
Yeah.
And that goes for the music that people spend their money on too, and you're sort of at the whim of the streaming service or whatever service that is. But if you buy a book, you hold in your hands and leaf through and for you and Adam Post, smell.
Yeah.
Printed in St. Louis, right next to the Coors Brewery.
Was he talking about that too? There, you can't be.
Yeah, he and you were the only two I've ever heard talk about the way it smells after the printing.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's magical. Louis says, charge up front, send us the chapters digitally until we get the premium book. So that makes sense. You're shipping once, but the difference is you're also talking about more books. So it would almost be like one campaign. I'm just thinking out loud here. I do like the idea of doing 1 or 2 campaigns a year because they're just so taxing on time, and they take you away from the creative stuff a lot. So the thing I like about it is if you did one campaign and then you're actually spending a year working on the creative stuff, you get to spend more time focusing on the creative stuff. It doesn't always feel like you're on the heels of a campaign. I don't know how practical that is.
For the writer, it's the concept and the talking about it and the you're also in the advertising world. You'd also be the account manager. That's sort of what the YouTube aspect is. The account manager who talks about what's being created. I mean, you don't see Kanan. I mean, I've heard Kanan talk 2 or 3 times. I've heard Rob Willis talk once. I've never heard Donald DeLay talk, although you have. Kelsey's around sometimes, but not really. For the artist, there's no way this part of it takes so much away from the focus that you can't even. I mean, Ethan was talking about it today that because he's drawing right now, he's not streaming.
Yeah,
right?
You can't really. I've seen people draw on stream, but I doubt that they're really drawing as quickly as they would otherwise, or as focused as they would otherwise. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's tough.
Well, as a writer, that's your gig.
Yeah, and yeah, to me that's a full. Yeah, it's part of the job is getting out there and doing streams.
But you already also have
promote it.
three other jobs.
That's part of the problem. Yeah, that's part of the problem. So I'm like with the window cleaning business, I'm this close to just selling it or closing it down or something. I don't want to do it anymore. It's been good, but I'm like, I see how this can work for at least the part-time gig kind of thing. It's a lot more fun. But I don't know. I'm holding on to it, I guess, a little bit. But it would give me a lot more time, that's for sure. Let's see. Got my PC hooked up on my TV watching you guys right now. All right, we're on TV. Let's see.
Your living room. Wow.
Camel Moon says new Hell Salad premieres in 5 minutes. Feel free to screen snipe. Oh,
do it.
We might as well.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's permission too. All right, for sure. We gotta do that too. I like that. New Salad 3 minutes. 3 minutes live. Here, I'm gonna find it here real quick.
I love that screen sniping is just a term I've never heard, thought about, or even conceived of. And now, what was the other one? Screen raids or something? Stream raids? Screen raids?
Yeah, raid. It's starting soon. I'll show. I'm gonna share audio to share. We got permission. We'll look at this while we're talking as the countdown happens. Premiere is beginning shortly.
Beautiful Camel Moon.
Let's see. So you guys are saying TV is the next step for CG. I mean, I get we're already on TV apparently.
My wife watched the Republican convention through YouTube. on C-SPAN YouTube and couldn't locate it on TV and didn't want to hear all the nonsense that those fools say.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, you don't need it anymore. Really. YouTube, you can stream everything. And that's, again, like what Ethan was bringing up today, is that people keep looking toward the old method of doing things. I don't know, I kind of got thinking of that, like how would you make things better, you know? But the only thing that I would say is that what I liked about the old method is that you had more story than one 48-page or 52-page book a year. That's the only thing, is I want
Clint,
more
this
story.
is my first book. I'm getting faster with each page.
Oh,
you know?
I believe it.
So I had to sort of I had to recalibrate all of what I was doing. Oh. All right, we got some time. I'll mute it her. So I'm speeding up with each. I could see it too, because we're world building.
Yes.
Where everything I've ever drawn for professional reasons was men's suits and ladies' clothes and rooms that there's plenty of ideas about. And now, so far for Fatal, everything has been a complete reinvention of, even you see the 2-page spread. It's, what does this room look like? What do these windows look like? Well, it's nothing I've ever done, seen, or drawn, because it's another planet where humans have gone off to, and that 2-page spread took those windows. It doesn't look like they're much, but I redrew them 8 times, and each one. So I mean, it was really unpleasant. After we're doing this sci-fi thing, I was thinking, let me just do a gritty kind of New York thing next, because that's something I understand. Dirty bums and prostitutes in New York, Clint. That's my next.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I have a story. I specifically was like, I want something that you could reasonably draw quickly. So most of it is snow. Like you're out in the snow. But it worked.
That lends itself to graphic design very nicely.
Yeah, it works. So this is the coma monk I had. I think it's awesome, and then you can draw anything too, because it'd basically be a surrealist kind of world. But I would think it could be faster. So, all right, let's watch this.
Camel Moon.
It's silent. World premiere.
All right, I'll mute my mic.
Thanks for watching Camel Moon on YouTube. After the episode, check out the Hail Salad comic and merch campaign on Indiegogo and get in on the exclusive Egg Salad perk, available for 2 weeks only.
Thanks for watching.
That's what he gets in exchange for stream sniping. It's advertising.
He made a lunchbox. I didn't know he made a lunchbox. I forgot.
He's brave. I feel like the shipping for that would be terrible.
Can you full screen it?
Oh, you got wait.
Oh.
Hey, man! Is that Stu?
Look at him. Oh. Look at this. Look at this head. What is this?
That's amazing.
You see the little penis down here?
Narwhal.
What's up, Frega?
Finally, narwhal.
Hey guys.
I don't know what to say about this. You guys have suspicions. I was married.
I'm a social climber as well.
This guy took me out, met me in a bar and choke slammed me into his hotel room.
Get to the part where he fingers you.
I only went up on that horse that one time. I don't even remember it.
If it were up to me, gay men would come first.
I don't know why that priest didn't find you attractive.
I'm the real victim here.
Well, hello, everybody. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
I don't want to be reminded that people have anuses.
I don't remember that.
It's a sexual thing.
Was it a little bit of grab ass?
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm really enjoying the Me Too stuff.
He fingered me repeatedly on a 45-minute ride around Manhattan.
Like, I'm an asshole, I admit it.
Look, guys, don't use chloroform is all I'm saying, unless you have to.
Here's the thing, Cecil. You ever have Korean barbecue? It doesn't stretch your butthole.
I tried that a year ago, but I got super constipated. I had to take a big shit, and I pushed so hard that pre-cum started dripping out of my dick.
What happened to Cecil?
If I had my kid grow up to be some weird fetishist, slimy pervert making porno videos of him getting fucked in the ass, I'd cut off his $5,000 a month allowance. You know what I mean?
No, just be cruel to me.
I can't believe the fat potato man missed my birthday again. My cake was packed with fudge this year, too. This will be the last time they mess with schemes and scams. Send the ass spider to teach them their final lesson.
Tell me about your dream, Cecil.
Okay, so I'm Martin Luther King, but I'm also fighting a shark and gay.
Let's make his dream reality, man.
I don't think that's going to work. I don't think that's necessarily a great idea.
You're a known racist and homophobe.
Well, I mean, some people don't know that yet.
You run a plantation.
Yeah, I really am special.
Oh, still, it's a power trip. Do it.
Well, how do you get these? How do you get sarcophagi with mummies in them?
Look, guys, Egypt is in Africa.
Ethan, all right, you got a hole in one.
Dude, it does look like his head is gone.
I mean, those are Egyptian slaves. Why would you shove them in your anus?
Who's going to bring me my shit when I'm dead as I smoke a pipe with my African slaves?
From Africa.
In the meantime, I was saying this the other day, Cecil. If you were going to fuck a mermaid, would you prefer human top, fish bottom, or fish top, human bottom?
Are they having a lesbian affair?
I'm going to put this on my penis.
Eat my sushi.
Yeah, I'm mostly interested in the young lady.
Anna, how do you feel about this?
See, that's why you just bring all of the families, like with the kids, out to the lake. You tell all the kids, start banging on the boat, and then
smash it and bang.
Smang it. Is that newspeak or is that French for something?
I was kind of thinking that if you just sweat so much, your sweat washes away your other sweat. And that was kind of hot.
Yeah, I know. Wenger is so embarrassed about this.
So I'm looking like Benjamin Franklin or something.
Not a mullet, but a skullet.
Well, like father, like son.
What's in the mummy?
Your butt?
Cecil, can't you just leave other people alone?
No.
We're getting a glimpse inside the coffin. I like how tiny Mike looks here. Why does this guy look so ashamed of himself?
At least you're trying, little buddy.
I want his ass cream for my cake.
How many mummies do we have?
It's my African slaves.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Grown-ups are talking. Okay.
You know what the Eiffel Tower is?
I do.
I don't even know if we can show that.
Yeah, I always knew the Illuminati was gay.
Smithers knows everybody. Cecil, what do you want to do? Do you want to do the boy or Mike?
Could he do it while I was behind him, like Whoopi Goldberg?
A little bit of sour grapes from Cecil today.
You should eat something like every 2 hours.
It doesn't not look delicious. I'm not saying it does. I'm just saying you would probably eat it.
oh my god, what happened to his head?
There goes his entire head. How do I sound now?
Gayer than ever.
Thank you. All right, it worked.
We need to really show some fucked up shit tonight.
It was Camel Moon. It's funny that, well, I don't know. This was right after I was like, you know what? I'm recommitting to having a PG stream. I want to, you know, everything out there is rated R stream. I'm gonna do a PG stream, so I have a PG one. So maybe next week, I guess we'll start that.
Does that affect you in any way? I mean, what if you go on a expletive-ridden tirade, and just mash expletives.
As far as YouTube goes, in regular videos, it does if it's within the first, I think, 60 seconds of the video. And so listen, they have the machine, the same thing that auto captions videos, does closed captions. It'll check and see if there are a certain set of words in the first 60 seconds. Live streams, I don't think so, but I've heard stories of people that have said something inappropriate on a live stream and then they'll get taken down. So I'm not sure that they can really do that. I think someone has to report them or something, but I mean the PG thing, I just think there's a market for it. Because there aren't PG streams. It seems like you don't have like Comicsgate PG streams. So
well, yeah, I'd be able to monitor my own. In the last couple times out and around, I've been, saying F this or instead of that's not hard, but the curses from when we were kids are now not the curses.
No.
So when you're saying they're monitoring the first 60 seconds, are they looking for F-bombs or are they looking for, the modern curses, whatever they are?
Right. No, you're exactly right. They probably would be looking maybe for F words, but they're looking for other like politically incorrect words, like Nazi. Yeah. Like I'm not even joking. If you say the word Nazi in the first 30 seconds, you will be demonetized, even if any time in the video. I think I'd have to really test that out. But yeah, if I ever say it jokingly, your video will get demonetized. So there are a set of words like that. I don't even know what all of them are. I think that umbrella guy one time had a list of words that YouTube didn't like. But it's been a long time since I looked at that. I don't know how accurate it was, but it's a thing for sure. But yeah, that was Hell Salad. He does. I love that he cuts up the amount of editing he'd have to do to go through to make some kind of a narrative. You know what I mean? Out of what's up there is it's kind of astounding if you think about it. Absolutely. Right here. Look up Not See Cola, a real drink that tastes like Crystal Pepsi. Well, Not See. I didn't know that. I did use that in a video once when I wanted to mention Not See. I typed it exactly like that, Not See, and it got around the algorithm. I did not know there was a cola though. Interesting.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah. All right. So let's look at it's the time. I think we talked about publishing monthly titles. I think I'm still thinking about it. Essentially, my goal is to be able to keep making comics. I don't want to flood readers with comics. I understand that everybody has other hobbies and that you want to be getting comics from other creators as well. But what I want to do is make sure that I'm developing stories and IP and giving you that fix, you know what I mean? And just building it and moving forward. So I'm still going to be thinking about this, but I think monthly title for me personally is way too much. But I do like the idea of doing a trade paperback and then doing floppies later. And I'll tell you right now, again, everybody asks about this in every single stream I've been on, but with Fatal, it hasn't. Right now, we're just focused on getting this book done. So there's not plans for the future for publishing floppies. But I don't know. We will see where things lead. So, but I do like that model, especially for Downcast. I think it works. So, all right. So now's the time. We're gonna pull up. These are the fan art editions. This is the moment everyone's been waiting for, the contest entries, and we're gonna look at these and. I'm going to do it like this. I'm not going to tell you who they are. Does that work, Charlie?
Mm-hmm.
Some of these I know who they are, but I specifically tried not to look in and check so it can be a bit of a surprise.
That's beautiful. So, can you full screen it?
Yeah, we'll full screen this. I'm going to zoom into here in Photoshop. I want you to get the full picture too. But yeah, so here's one. This is a great action pose. Action, yeah, I don't know, this could phenomenal. Be a cover, a splash page. But yeah, he's
I'll step aside. Who's this?
Yeah, you want a job? Yeah, he kicks. He's a nice kick going on down here. We've got the rocket hopper up here flying down with Moxie and Kit on top. Pretty cool. I like it. Nice colors. This is not the first entry. This is the first entry we're talking about tonight. Some good ones. A lot of kinetic energy in that one. Yeah, AL says, wow. Like it.
Very exciting, that one.
All right.
Do you open with a front runner like that? This was an earlier one. I remember seeing this one. The tags.
Yeah,
the tags are so clever that.
Yeah, this to me this really meets the suggestion requirement of it being an ad. I still love this one. It's a great one. We don't want to forget it. We did show this one last week, but it is a contest entry, so we're showing it. Still looks great. I like it when you need a fatal solution to your infestation. Call fatal. I like that. Great tagline. Yeah, we got a couple like this one. All right, next one. We showed this one last week. I didn't put these in order of any kind, but alien problem, not anymore. Contact fatal.
It's beautiful. And my second question is, that was last week? That feels like 3 months ago.
Doesn't it? How many streams have we been on in the past week? It's insane.
Oh, I'm so tired. Whoa, I've never even seen this one.
This is new. There are a bunch. Right.
Why is the alien grabbing his junk?
And he's got a finger up his nose too.
Oh my god, these guys are brilliant.
Is he pulling a zipper? This is a super violation. He's got a knife there. This is just, yeah. So we'll read this here. Fatal. Flynn's alien termination and logistics discounts at an all-time high. Half price off follow-up invasion for the next 5 years. Self-destruct deactivation service. Save your planet from total annihilation or your money back. I like that. That's clever.
That is phenomenal.
Yeah. Chat, let us know what you think too. We got LOLs. Look great. Yeah, he's crotch grabbing. All right. Here's one. This one is sideways. How do I turn this?
Command R.
What if you're not using a Mac? Control R? No. Shift R. Wait, is that it? Ah, there we go. Shift.
Well done.
I'll do it. All right. So let me zoom in here. This is, again, I really appreciate this was AL that did this one. Really appreciate AL turning this in. And one of the things was it doesn't have to be color. It doesn't have to be inked. It doesn't have to be. All it has to do is just advertise fatal. And so we appreciate it. Nice alien hand. Flynn's alien termination and logistics. Alien problem. Make the solution fatal. Perfect. I love it. AL's not as confident, but I think it's cool.
AL, be very happy. You've got the dead alien hand. You've got the logo. I like your little you added the little, is that in it? Is that in the logo? The little arrow at the end of the L? You added that little horn there?
Yeah.
Very nice.
Weaponized. I like it.
Weaponized letters.
Very cool. So many great ones. Check this one out too. Fatal. It's got what he calls block letters. I don't know. Fatal Flynn's alien termination and logistics. Just a really cool pose. He's standing on some kind of moon somewhere. I love it.
Yeah, it's beautiful, man.
It's really
fantastic. He's down to his skin tight spacesuit. You know, just like all the astronauts wear. And he's got his gun. It's beautiful.
Correct gear when you're fighting aliens, you know.
That's right, especially if they grab your junk.
You gotta be nimble. Gotta be nimble.
I love the letters in there. Whoa. Hey.
It's another one. I'm telling you, there's a ton you've not even seen all these. So this one, this one might take a little bit. I'm gonna try to zoom in here a bit. This is clearly a photo. So was this a painting? Was this was done on some kind of traditional medium? This was not done digitally.
That is phenomenal. It looks as though traditionally made the logo too. That is not easy.
Yeah. So we got alien monster hand. This is one of our beasts from the story, perhaps, holding what looks like a match and burning. Like there's some depth. There's some high concept going on here.
Yeah, it looks as though it's burning there's two planets, or it's burning the atmosphere off the one planet.
Yeah. And we got the sun in the background, the drama. And then you have the three images. This kind of reminds me of Alien almost, like where they had like this little symbols that were everywhere in little square boxes. Maybe it's a bit of a reach, but it's what it reminds me of.
We could decipher there's so much of these little hieroglyphics.
Yeah.
In the top right, so there's the two figures, and the one figure in the center has got his arms out, and there's a dead one in the back. So is that two people running away and one dead alien? And then help. The one figure crawling and then help.
So the invade, you realize something's up. Oh, this is the planet. They've got something going on.
You're right.
Something's going on. They're on the verge of death. Call Flynn.
Wow.
That's cool.
Hello, the guy says help.
I like that.
Oh, it's just everybody dying, I think, in the first one. Then the central figure dies in the second panel. Then in the third panel, he calls for help. Oh, with a beacon being sent out from some sort of a CB radio or walkie-talkie or communication device. That is
very
fantastic.
Very cool. The stars, I think. How long did that? Isn't this how you injured your hand? Charlie was stippling. Doing this.
Don't stipple digitally.
Cancel. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
the idea
cool.
is do it. If you're doing it traditionally, it won't hurt as much. Don't do it on a plastic screen.
Oh, I didn't know that. Is that because it gives more or something?
Yeah. Paper has give and tooth and all that. Whoa! Holy smokes!
They just keep coming. This says, "Don't be stupid. You know who to call." Fatal. And yeah, this was How to Draw Comics. Can't remember. I think his name's out there. Tyler. How to Draw Comics is pretty cool. No. Oh no, Talking in Comics, not How to Draw Comics. Talking in something. I can't remember that his name's Tyler. Had him on the show not even that long ago. Gosh, forgive me, Tyler. I can't remember the name of your channel now.
God damn, that's beautiful.
Isn't that cool?
That is. I also like the take on the suit. That's phenomenal. And the killed creature back there, and the and the breaking apart of the letters.
See, we either have guts coming out of this, or it's almost biomechanical. Colors pop. Yeah, I like the colors. Yeah.
Holy smokes!
Really, really cool. Appreciate that entry.
Wait, what's he doing? What's he doing with his? Is he wiping his face or sucking on his finger?
I think it's a cigarette.
Oh, okay. Now I see it. Holy smokes!
Taking a drag on poster, please.
Wow, that one is so good.
You want a poster of it, or you want to know who posted it? Draw and talk. Thank you. There's drawing and talking, not How to Draw Comics. Draw and talk. Yeah, with Tyler. Yeah, I appreciate him sending this in. Very cool. So we've got it's a doobie.
Absolutely.
All right, next one here. This is has a very Charlie's Angels vibe.
Yeah,
and
I love that.
Yeah.
Is that Michael C? That was fantastic.
I cannot remember. I tried not to pay too much attention. It says, "Do you have an alien problem? Fatal will smang it."
You can almost hear the mod music. Ding,
yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. We're coming to get you. Ding, ding, diddle, ding. Dead aliens are coming. Ding, ding, diddle, ding.
Here's the
alien vermin require dead aim. I love his shots.
It's like one behind the head.
And the alien is great. Look at it being knocked back, and the one up on top with the snarls and the fangs and everything.
See this one's head. Who would you rather be? Would you rather have your head totally obliterated, or almost everything but your head? Your head and your everything from the ankles down.
He's being annihilated. Oh, that's man,
epic.
I think I saw that one earlier.
Yeah,
that
this one was posted on Twitter as well. So it's a little too late, but I do want to see this. Fraud79 says, I had an idea involving Alf. Oh, I can only imagine.
We'll get to him. We'll get to that cat eating mother. Oh,
that'd be
cat
so
eating guy.
That would be great.
Hey Brian. Hey Brian, some guy in a orange and red and yellow suit just took a shot at me.
And then we can't forget this entry as well.
Tops. Is that Narwhal?
It was not Narwhal, but it had me laughing hard. Oh man. So those were our entries. I'm pretty sure I got all of them. I tried to make sure I looked through Twitter, looked through my email, and tried to make sure I grabbed everything that everybody submitted. This is going to be really, really hard, Charlie.
Are you going to play that one? Play that one while it's up there.
Yeah, okay. So some of you may not have seen this. I think we're already sharing the audio. So yeah, let's play this and you guys can enjoy.
Hey, Flynn here from Flynn's Alien Termination and Logistics. An alien invasion got you down. Do you feel like aliens have taken over the minds of everyone else on your planet? Well, do I have the thing for you? That's exactly what Fatal does. For a nominal fee, I will swoop down and take care of those aliens and blow them to smithereens. Don't believe me? Hear what these satisfied customers have to say.
Are you a satisfied customer?
$20.
Are you a satisfied customer? Fist bump. Yeah.
Also, I can be very discreet. Don't believe me? Listen to what this other satisfied customer has to say.
Are you satisfied with your alien termination?
What alien? Who are you? You need to leave. Bye.
Well, I know who you are. Another satisfied customer.
Still not sure? Well, you're in luck. For a limited time only, I will be discounting the price of my brochure to $25. In this brochure, you'll find out a little about me and some of my past exploits.
I think this is
can only be found right here on Indiegogo. Link in the description. So if you need my services, call 1-800-555-FATAL. And remember, when you want aliens dead, make it fatal.
Love it. So
beautiful.
Funny. I gotta start over. Okay, this is gonna be a really tough decision. Yeah, does Charlie have a clear turnaround of what that helmet design? I think this is it. This is as accurate a portrayal as you're going to see.
Yeah. he's got the holsters. He's got the lasers. He's got the helmet and the visor. They're clearly cut out perfectly for his eyes, and absolutely he can see very well through there. There's probably inside there, I'm sure there's some sort of heads-up display where everything is resized and he's getting a readout of everything that's going on out there. That's it. That's
That's all you need.
When we cast the movie, that's the guy.
That's all you need. Well, so we have a lot of great entries in here. I'm just going to kind of flick through these as we think about it. This is
Are we
really
choosing now?
Really tough. Can we do that, or do you need some time to like pour over them? There's so many great ones. This is going to be tough. I don't know. I feel like we have to announce it on here, though. Doesn't it? Maybe I should have shown you them ahead of time. I'm clicking through them.
That one's so good too.
We'll go back. Yeah,
that one
here's
too. He's grabbing his junk. It's so funny.
Yeah.
How they would be used.
How they would be used. Honestly, these are all we will put the winners in the fan art section. I'm not opposed to add, and the fan art section doesn't have to be just 2 images. I don't mind putting some more stuff in the fan art section within reason. We don't want to fill the whole thing up. But there can only be 2 winners for the $100 because I'm only paying $200 for this.
Right.
So there can only be too many winners. This is a tough one, man. There's so many great ones. We might have to think about it though.
I think I've got mine.
You do? You do? Okay. Which one is it?
I think. Oh, but that one's so good too. I think I like the one with the match and the burning planet.
The painting.
Oh, but that one. I think I like that one the most. I love the 3 panels. I'm a sucker for interiors and panels, and storytelling. And this guy told a little story.
That's great.
In almost men's and women's rooms hieroglyphs.
See, Chuckard, and he's the voice of reason. The
Wow,
toughest guy on the internet says, "Don't be afraid to do it live."
This guy has extra shotgun shells and eats his steak rare.
That's right.
Chuck Reardon knows how to fire when.
Logistics.
Chuck, do you use buckshot? What are the different loads for shotguns? Buckshot, and then what's the other kind? The full shell. Which do you choose?
A slug. I don't know. Yeah.
Do you just drink A1 steak sauce right out of the bottle?
Fix the typo before you use it if it's painted. I don't know. It's part of the.
Where's the typo?
Part of the charm is logistics spelled wrong.
That makes me like it even more.
I know. It's part of the charm. I think it's fun.
In a world where everything is proofread and triple checked and spell checked
live. Yeah. So
all right. I think that's my choice. That is
committed winner. I'll have to look up and see exactly who submitted this. I tried not to look at names, so I will email you back. I know this one came from the email. And congratulations. One winner. This is tough. I gotta look through these other ones.
I love the neon colors in that one, the retro. And Al, is that what we call him? Al?
AL.
Or is he AI?
AL. And AL is a she.
AL is a she?
Is a she, yeah.
I love the straightforward pencils. But that one is so clever. And the cat coming up behind. And that one's so good too.
Okay, so I'll tell you, this one and this one. I really like
top two?
I really like both of these. So I have to decide. Okay, I think I'm gonna go for this one. Here's my reasoning. Because they included a tagline. And I did technically put that in there. Give us a tagline. So I like that. So I think this will be the winner. I will email though, because some of these are just too good. And so I'll email and see if some of you guys want these in the fan art section. Like this one, we'll have some maybe honorable mentions, and we'll ask you get your permission if we can put it in. But I think my winner is going to go for this one. When you need a fatal solution to your infestation, call Fatal. And just cool, simple design. I like it. It's fun. Other winner was they're so good. The painted one. Peter, which one's your favorite? You have to pick one, but they don't get any money or any prizes.
Favorite what?
we're going through all of the submissions. These are the fan art submissions.
Okay.
Welcome to the stream, by the way.
Yeah. I just hopped on. I wasn't even in the chat. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. We won't.
Oh, we won't.
There's a lot of submissions. We can go over them all again.
His opinion.
We just
show him to Pete.
Do them really quick. Quick.
They're all so great.
He's getting the Rorschach, the quick take.
And then last but not least, too, can't forget this one.
They're all great in their own ways.
They are.
Man, oh man.
Yeah, I think Pete was here when we watched that video.
Yeah, he saw it last week. But
Yeah.
It feels like a month ago. Yeah. Well, these are great. So the winners we picked, I picked this guy, and
did I see them all? What about the ones? Are there ones to the left there?
Oh, did you not catch these? There we go. There's
that one. God, that one's phenomenal.
That's good too.
Stylish and cool.
Great.
That one is blasting. That one's got the spirit. Got the what? Got the spirit.
I know, they're so cool. So many great ones. There's one standout here.
If it was my contest, the one all the way to the far right.
That was good.
That one.
I had it was, to me, it was this one or this one. And because of the tagline, that's what it came down to. But that's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
That's great.
All right. Congratulations. I'll send emails out to those of you that entered. And thank you, everybody, for entering the contest. I'm always like worried if you're going to do a contest and nobody's interested in it, that's lame. But we had so many submissions that this was super successful. I'd totally do this again for a crowdfunding campaign. So appreciate everybody. I'm going to share these out on social media, even though I think many of them already have been. And yeah, appreciate it. I'll probably, I don't know, shoot some of you an email too. We'll probably figure out how many pages we want the fan art section to be, and maybe pick out some of our, runners up and see if you guys are interested in being published in the book. So I think that'll be fun.
They're
Okay.
so great though. I don't envy you guys at all.
Isn't that
a lot of great submissions there?
It's tough. It is tough. All right, we got a few
Hard
more backers
choices.
too.
Hard choices. Everybody wins. Because whenever you draw, you win.
And the cool thing too is I saw people that were submitting ones and they're like, it's not very good. Like, I'm not super proud of it, but I just wanted to participate because I'm so excited about the book. That's one of the coolest things to hear from people, is just that I'm just excited about the book and I want to have fun. I want to participate.
Yeah. You can't ask for more than that.
Exactly. So cool. So Pete, now that we have you on, we talked a little bit about monthly books or more books than one per year. That's a big there's a lot of middle ground between one book per year versus 12 books per year. And I've already full right decided that 12 books a year just seems insane to me. I would personally never do that. More power to you if you're going to. I could not do that. But I'm curious because you run a subscription service. You also publish multiple comics. I don't even know how you do it. You're juggling a ton of books, of publishing things. What are some of your thoughts on series? What's optimal, do you think?
I think at this point in time, I think quarterly is becoming optimal for a lot of people. Other than that, I think, if depending on how detailed the book is, depending on the price of the book, how big the book is, maybe 2 a year. There's so many comics. And it's not just in the indie comic scene, but obviously extending to the bigger picture with the corporate comic scene and mainstream comics. And we all know that there's so many. So I think a lot of people are, they want to put out as much as they can, but at the same time, I mean, you should have some kind of quality of life. You should have some kind of way to promote these books, because that's where a lot of the money is going to come from, and not necessarily your quantity. You can get out 20 books a year. If you have no time to promote them, if you have no quality of life, is it worth it?
Right.
Your sales are going to suffer if you don't have time to promote. So if you have time to promote and you can make it, and you could do maybe 2 books a year, I think that's ideal for a lot of people. It gives them a nice time frame between promotion, creation, fulfillment, and then getting the new, maybe take a month off and then getting the new campaign up, and then so on and so forth. I think past that point, it's difficult. Now, if you're a publisher, if you're like myself, where you're mostly putting out other people's books, I've seen a lot of people think, well, if I publish, I could still do all this and I could still create and make my own book. No, That's not going to happen. You end up becoming more of a publisher and less of a creator. There's so many things, there's so many different fires every single day to put out as a publisher.
Yeah.
And you've got other people's stuff to worry about, not necessarily your own. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, monthly books, I don't think it's necessarily something that you can think about until maybe, you collect a lot of stories, you got a backlog, and you can kind of republish them and break them down and put them out again. And this way you have that nice schedule you could stick to. But if it's actually creating monthly books, oh man, you're going to need 6 or 7 in the can before you put that first one out.
Yeah.
Because there's stuff that happens.
So the kind of brings up a point that I thought about a little bit, but sustainability, is that, like being able to sustain how you're putting out books, I think has a couple different parts to it though. Because one of those is keeping fans engaged in the book, which is to me like a reason why I would want to do like 2 books a year, of one title at minimum. 2. I think quarterly is great, again, depending on page count per book. But putting out those books just so fans they continue to have content. But the other side of that is it sustainable for the creators? Like I don't know. I just keep thinking, like, if you really did 12 issues worth and you finance that ahead of time, to me that's not sustainable. It'd just be so expensive to prepare something like that ahead of time, and then you'd be taking such a massive risk to see if people are even interested, after the 4th issue or 3rd issue, to continue reading it.
Yeah.
So I don't know that. Yeah, it's I don't know. It's something tough, I think.
Yeah, I think right now with Alterna, we've mostly been bi-monthly, and that's every 2 months. Because sometimes bi-monthly can mean twice in a month. It could be twice in a month or every other month. But we do every other month. And before all of this mess had occurred, that was mostly our schedule, and we stuck to it pretty well, I guess 80-90% of the time. But the way things are going, the direct market isn't becoming as big of a factor, at least not for us anyway. And I see it not becoming as big of a factor for a lot of people, unfortunately. But I think retailers do, because of that too, they also have an opportunity to realize that there's already so much product out there. They already don't have enough shelf space for it. Most retailers don't even carry half of the comics that are available every month. The ones that mostly carry current new comics, they probably carry, I guess, maybe a quarter to 30%. Honestly, there's so many indie books that come out all the time. There's so many, even from the bigger publishers too.
Yeah.
So I can't see them necessarily saying, well, what are we going to have to sell? Because there's still tons of books to get out there. And that's if they wanted to partake in these books after the fact, these indie kind of books, these books that are crowdfunded, whatever it may be. But yeah, as far as a creator goes, as far as a reader goes, of course, readers would love to see more of their favorite books. And creators would love to make them faster than they possibly can, but neither of those two things are going to be realistic, and they're not going to be healthy for the creators. They're going to burn themselves out, and the stories will suffer for it. So putting out these premium editions, I think, through crowdfunding is great. And then later on, you can break it down, and then you can kind of get it out there as affordable single issues. It's very similar to what we're doing with your book.
Yeah.
And what we've done with other books too in the past. So I think that's kind of a good way to move forward. As far as what someone else's game plan might be, even when I talked to Ethan today, I think he was kind of thinking out loud about a lot of this stuff. And it's a serious step. It's good to have the conversation and put it out there. But I don't think, not many people even in the chat, his customers, even they were like, you don't really need to do that. That's okay. So he's not even fulfilling the need necessarily of primarily a large amount of his customers. And again, of course, in a perfect world, it's like, do we all want to get more of these? And, the artists want to make them quicker. Of course, but that's not realistic.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like the idea of getting a book even 3 times a year, like quarterly would be pretty cool. And I feel like you're getting more story, but even 3 times a year would be cool. 2 times a year, I don't know. For me, it feels like such a long time since Downcast 1 came out. But then when I think about it, I'm like, I shipped it out in November, shipped out the other one in August. So it was like almost twice a year. Kelsey Shannon's got some terminology reinforcement here too. Says, can we all come to an agreement already? Bi-monthly is every 2 months. Bi-weekly is every 2 weeks. That's how it's always been in comics.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kelsey. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Or even twice weekly. I would twice monthly. I would hear that.
Yeah.
That would even be on some of the comics back in the day. But so I think if you're going to have the release schedule, because see, the release schedule also doesn't necessarily matter so much as long as you've got the issues ready to go. So if you feel you can get 4 or 5 issues done a year, and you want to have a bi-monthly or a monthly release schedule, well, you're going to have to probably wait till you get 2 or 3 years worth of issues under your belt. And that's not something feasible either for creators to do. So, that's why if you do what you do and you keep getting your stories out, eventually maybe you've got 5 years of material, and then you can break it down and you can actually have, another publisher or even yourself, and you could put them out and you can have them in affordable, smaller single issue chunks and do it that way and get a whole new audience that way, because so much time has also passed. And, that otherwise you're looking at kind of doing the thing that I think a lot of people don't want to do, which is you go down that corporate comics road, which a big part of this stuff is the connection with the readers, and the promotion, of course, goes into that. But if you're creating a monthly comic or a bi-monthly comic, just at this, flying at the seat of your pants every single month, there's no backlog, let's say, maybe even 1 issue of a backlog. So you have to create all the time. You have to be on schedule all the time. You're not really going to have time to promote. You're not going to have time to do this thing that's going to actually get you sales and readers. So you need to have that. You need to have that balance. And having the monthly is impossible to do that. But quarterly, yeah, you could do that still. And definitely 2 issues a year, especially if they're bigger stories, 48 plus pages or whatever it is. Totally, you could do that.
Yeah. And for I don't know, for me, like I just love this idea of trades first. And so it's almost not a question of how many books per year. It's more a question of how many pages per year, because you could put out one trade and crowdfund it once and it's 88 pages long, or it's 50 pages long, or you know what I mean, or 100 pages long. And that gets difficult. But I don't know. Then you also don't have the printing and shipping hurdles to run through either. Yeah.
Well, the other part of it too is, okay, so now if you're going to be a publisher and you're going to put out other works and you're going to, let's say you're going to essentially maybe be the writer and you're going to hire other artists. And that's the methodology the whole time. Well, then you're also juggling creative team issues. You're juggling logistical issues. You're juggling a budget, all this other stuff too. So depending how many more books you add to that, that's more, creative teams, that's more print run money, that's more time has to be spent between promoting all these titles that you have. Like at Alterna, it's everything's creator owned. So the creators pay for their creative team to make their books because it's 100% theirs. Now, if it was a 50% split or something like that, which is what a lot of indie publishers have, and let's say we paid some page rates, well, I'd want to make sure that we're putting out a project that I approve of in a lot of different ways in terms of quality control across the board. So, and that's going to happen, I think, with anyone you deal with. You're going to have more oversight the more you surrender that IP in exchange for getting some kind of a page rate. In the case of the big two, I mean, they have very little control. So you're going to get this larger page rate, but you also don't steer the ship. So
Yeah.
I think it depends what's important to you. And I think for some creators, they have to be honest with themselves of what they want to do, what their goals are, and then set a plan of action at that point. I mean, if you want to take a 5-year plan and say, okay, well, I want to do this thing where we put out all these issues, or I want to start being a publisher. Well, start building things slowly. I see a lot of people that go, wow, I think if we make a big splash, and this happens all the time in mainstream comics, I think if we make a big splash, we put out, this universe, and we put out 10 or 12 issues, and then it's a universe. So then they have to buy everything, right? So it's an instant surefire success. It's a great strategy. They got to get every title to understand the whole story. Well, they don't even care about necessarily one character yet. And you're trying to sell them on 10 or 12. And you're trying to say, we're going to make it purposefully, basically confusing for you because all of these things are interlocked. So you're not really going to know the story unless you buy all of them.
Right. That has been one of my criticisms, I guess. Something I've noticed a lot with new creators, or ones that are just starting to get their feet under their feet on the ground. They'll say, I want to build this whole universe, and they start immediately planning this big complex universe. And to me, it's like, that's not how your favorite universes were created. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
They were created one character at a time, and then they introduced another character, and then it was like, oh, people love this character. What's Spider-Man is always the one I think of. It wasn't Spider-Man #1. It was Amazing Fantasy 15, right? Is that the first one he was in?
Yep.
And and there's Spider-Man. There's a new character people liked, and it sort of grew organically. So yeah, I totally get what you're saying. That to me, it makes a lot of sense. And the other thing too is, I think I don't want to. I saw someone make the comment, there's too many books to back. I get that, and it's like, I don't want to flood myself. I don't want to flood the market with books. So if I'm having, to me, 2 titles, and maybe every once in a while put out a little one shot, you know what I mean? To me,
I felt that too. What?
Yeah.
Wait, I have
Too
to
many
buy
books.
this one. I need
Yeah.
to buy. Well, all right, I'm out.
Yeah, you have to pick and choose, because there's so many books.
And it's not just that, people have, it's the same thing the comic industry is facing. It's not just that there's comics to necessarily compete with, but then there's other things that buy up your time. There's all kinds of other entertainment. There's all kinds of other things, even just life itself. So you only have so much time. You only have so much money, and that's kind of it. So you have to make sure when you're doing these kinds of campaigns, you're giving it your best, and it's not necessarily you're just putting stuff out there to have something out there, because maybe, and this is something I think in corporate comics they kind of drill into you, that if you don't have it out there all the time, people forget about it. And to an extent, yes, but it doesn't have to be twice a month or monthly or anything like that. I mean, there's also some truth to the fact that anticipation kind of grows, the absence makes the heart grow fonder. So
yeah,
if the book comes out, if the book comes out, once a month or once a year, if it's a great book and it comes out once a year and you love these creators and you love what they're doing and they can promote it properly, they'll have just as much, if not more, success with it than someone who's just putting out a monthly book. And they're just kind of flying by the seat of their pants at putting out a story all the time. And I mean, if you look at when they used to do monthly books a lot, and I mean, they still obviously do monthly books, but when they first began and they were building universes for the most part, that was just crazy. Just go for it. Just whatever. Put every single idea on the paper and just, put the story out there and on to the next thing and over again. But after a while, of course, they laid that groundwork down, and then it's easier to kind of go and play with someone else's toys and not have to be in creation mode and publishing mode and marketing mode and distribution mode. It's like, especially when you're doing things on your own, and this too, when you're in publishing mode, creation mode is shutting down. shipping mode is shutting down, fulfillment mode shuts down, and vice versa for every single other thing. You can only really tackle one big thing at a time. Yeah. So if you're going to be creating, you're going to be actually doing these comics and making them. Every time you sit there to draw or to write or to ship out books or to do whatever, that's time that could have been spent doing something else that you're not doing because you're doing this task now. So if you start hiring out other people, well, now you're hiring them. So now you need to pay them too. So all the money that you have coming in, you might think like, oh, well, we can make like 5 times more. But you also now need to maybe hire 5 or 6 people to cover what you can't do.
Yeah.
So it's all these different things to consider. And obviously people can do it. People do it. But it's not something to consider lightly. And it really has to be something you want to do. I think for the most part, I don't think we're at a point right now with making comics that people really need to do this kind of a thing. If I started making comics today, I honestly don't know if I form Alterna. I don't know if I make a publishing company today. I think I just kind of keep doing my own thing and I do crowdfunding.
There's something to be said for being lean. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that's part of like more I'm getting into this and realizing some of the expenses just get massive, just all sorts of things. But I see a pathway. I'm not there yet, but I see a pathway of if you're serving your audience, you're making comics, you're giving them their fix, but you're not overwhelming them, with too much, which is, I think, what the mainstream industry does too often is too much to keep up with. Then there's no reason why someone couldn't collect every installment of the book. You know what I mean? They're incentivized to, because you're not asking for everything. So yeah, absolutely. I'm curious, do you miss the creative stuff? Do you want to go back and make your book? Do you ever feel that bug?
Every now and then, but not so much anymore. And what
Peter,
I mean,
are you a writer? I know you draw.
Yeah, I've written. I mostly
you write and
in
draw.
terms of comics. Yeah, I've written. I'm not like a sequential artist. I don't have the patience for it. But I don't mind doing covers. I don't mind doing quick sketch cards and things like that. But yeah, so and just to kind of clarify too, when I say that if I had to start today, I wouldn't create Alterna, I would just do my own thing and keep going at it. I don't know if that eventually takes me down the road into creating something again, like in Alterna Comics. But there's different things at our disposal right now than there were 10, 14 years ago. Well, 14 years ago is when I started Alterna. Then there were 14 years ago. Crowdfunding didn't exist. The industry was so-so, but it seemed like it was a bit of a boom at the time to get into doing your own thing. But now it's just, there's so many things at your disposal. I even tell people this about the fact that I don't even think you necessarily, I think I'm the only publisher in the industry that'll say you don't actually need me. You can do all of this on your own. I did all of this on my own. I'm not about to tell you and try to convince someone else that they can do all of this on their own. So that's why, to me, it's always important that I find that, okay, well, I'm bringing this X, Y, and Z to the table. If you're interested in that, I can do that. If not, that's perfectly fine. You don't necessarily need that. If you can do that on your own, that's great. But this is kind of the way we're at right now in terms of these different paths for people. And it depends. If someone wants to go down this kind of publishing road, they have to realize, all right, well, you have to have all of these different things at the forefront of your mind when you're doing things. You can't go into it and say, oh, it's going to free up my time. No one's going to gain more time from taking on more responsibility. And I think that's what some people are losing sight of when they go into publishing. And they're saying, well, it'll eventually open up time for me. I can make my own book because all these other people are doing their thing. So it opens up time for me to create and I can make my own stuff and that'll be great. That never happens. Between juggling other creative teams, between working out things with printers, if you go through distribution, working things out with them, making your own distribution, let's say, there's all kinds of different problems that you as a publisher will face. And it's not just worrying now about your own book, it's worrying about everybody else's. So you have to be ready for that.
The customer service alone. So something, again, shipping out one book for me wasn't, there's a bit of customer service, but then we closed the store. You know, the in-demand store was closed before I fulfilled. I've got an in-demand store open right now, and it's like I'm getting requests every day for just little customer service things. I can only imagine when you've got as many books as you do and as many shipments as you do, just the little, you know, hey, it's lost in the mail somewhere, or, you know, my books are damaged or something, or, you know, whatever things happen. Even, you know, it's a small percentage wise. I think most of my books get out there just fine, but it just adds up, you know, the more books that you have. So I can see how, again, keeping things lean is a good idea. It's nice.
Yeah. I mean, and again, it's not something that's impossible to do. It just more depends where's your heart at. Because if your heart is at, you know, okay, I want to publish because I want to get other people's work. Like that's where I'm at right now. And that's where I kind of was when I started Alterna. I said I wanted to help other people get their work out there. I didn't think for a second that it meant, well, The Chair would pretty much be the last full story I ever wrote. And for now it is. I've had a couple short stories here and there, but I've had 5 or 6 other stories that have come along that I've seen other people kind of publish and put out. And I'm like, I had that idea. I should have just done it, but I couldn't do it. So, you know, and you kind of grow to make peace with that. And I'm more of the mindset anyway. I've always been this way where I enjoy seeing other people succeed. So I enjoy being a part of helping.
Pete, I don't. No.
Yeah. Well, you know,
not the American way. Get out of my way! I'm coming through.
But that's the thing is, as they succeed,
like praying mantises trying to climb over each other in the jar of Hellman's mayonnaise to get to the air hole.
You know,
let me get to the top.
That is too much. What
it's crabs in a bucket. That's
comics, comics can be like that so much, and that I gotta say, I'm not trying to blow smoke here, but Peter's been so great to work with just this far. We don't even have Downcast isn't even out yet. Like the first newsprint issue is not out yet, but Peter's been so good at just you know, wanting me to succeed, giving me great advice. It feels like I have a mentor in you, you know, with comics, which is so nice because usually it seems like people either want something from you or they want to push you down. You know what I mean? It's just there's this
gimme
competitive nature, that is, and I get it. Everyone wants to make comics, but it's just sometimes it gets tiring. So I appreciate that Peter, that you do that, and you get a sense of you're succeeding too. You know, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's great. There's nothing to me like it when I see a creator and they have people who love their books. And I was a part of getting that creator's work out there, because there's a lot of times, I mean, that's why I started Alterna, because there were so many stories coming in. Because at first it was just a self-publishing imprint for me. I didn't think I'd be a publisher. So I got so many submissions coming in of people saying the same kind of stories, and a lot of them would have really great stuff that I thought was far better than anything I could have made. And they had all these similar stories. They didn't know the right people. It wasn't the right kind of book. It wasn't, you know, the right time for this kind of book. If it was, you know, for kids, oh, it's too scary. The art, they're not going to like it. If it was for adults, oh, it's not edgy enough. You know, all these excuses you could think of. They were hearing them and they were telling me about their stories. And I figured, you know, these are books that aren't getting out there. These people are doing a great job. They're trying to get their stuff into the hands of readers and into a publisher that cares about it. But they're meeting all these obstacles along the way. Some of them just seem like no for the sake of saying no. So that's why I started Alterna, was to kind of give a voice for those creators to kind of say, okay, well, maybe if we all work together, we can get stuff out there and it can get into the hands of people that read them. And over the years, it's evolved into more than that. And we've been able to do a lot of great things. And there's been ups and downs like any kind of business. But at the same time, I mean, we needed those ups and downs because I could learn from them. So it depends, though, again, what kind of situation you're in and what kind of mindset you have behind you. Because it is going to be at first, it's going to be a lot of, you know, guiding. You have to have a mentor kind of attitude. If you're in there, I think if you're in there as a publisher at this point in time to kind of try to, and I'm not saying anyone is doing this, but if you're in there to do what they used to do, which is to essentially, you know, say, okay, well, we're going to build up a lot of these properties and then we're going to try to option them off to Hollywood and this and that. And that's how we'll make our money. And the comics are a loss leader. And the comics, for the most part, don't even really matter. It's more about the optioning of these things and selling off the rights.
Am I the only one? I mean, it'd be nice to get the fat check, but the goal for me is, and you were even saying before, you like to draw covers and stuff. I love to draw the sequential stuff. I love the pages. I love the storytelling of, because anytime I think of an idea, what I want to do is I want to hit from the 9 sides. I want every action, every aspect of it. I want to see how it all happened. Oh, it's so, and if you get a nice action to describe from every angle and each second that surrounds it, that's the fun of the book for me, not the movie. To me, anytime I've seen it developed into a movie, I've thought,
creator, you're a storyteller. See, that's the difference between a lot of the stuff right now. And that's kind of the mindset. And because that's been the mindset for so long, comics have kind of been looked at as, you know, this is a nice wellspring for all these other, you know, games, movies, shows, whatever. But the comics themselves are kind of viewed as they're more disposable now than ever before, but their price tag sure as hell isn't disposable. Right. So it's very strange to see that. But from a publishing standpoint, you know, and I think that's kind of why I've always been butting heads with a lot of people in the industry, because my mindset's completely different. It's not about doing the things that they want to do to get these stories out there so they can make money off of creators. It's about getting these books out there so people can enjoy them. I've always been more about readers first and the creators. Let's help the creators because they're making these things. So obviously they want people to read them. And let me try to see if I can help the creators to make something great that gets people to read the books. But it's kind of been a weird way of doing things in comics where their audience isn't necessarily their audience. Their audience is just basically a bunch of numbers to show some investor or some Hollywood type or whatever it is to say, oh, well, look at how many people give a crap and then, you know, give us a deal. I could care less about any of that kind of stuff. I made one film. I could care less to make another. It was a nightmare. Get me out of that hole. I don't want to have anything to do with that anymore. I'd rather stick with comics.
Yeah. Developing ideas with people can, other than, you know, if it's me and Clint in a room or something, or with 2 people, 3 people even, yeah, you can develop an idea. But once ideas start bouncing around and testing, I mean, that's what I've been doing in my career, testing in committees. And then you go back to the board meeting, and then you go back to the conference room, and then you call up accounting, and then you go back to testing. I don't know how anything gets to the end of the line. It's incredible.
Yeah. Well, and I was going to say, Charlie, I think you're in good company too, because I think, especially in independent comics, people want to be making comics, you know, again, as opposed to, and I wouldn't mind, I'm not like anti-movie, but the kind of stories I tell that I want to tell too, they wouldn't lend themselves very well to making a movie. It'd be an expensive movie. Could you imagine making a Fable movie or making a Downcast movie? The budget would just be through the roof. Which is, that's the cool thing about comics, you know?
Yeah.
Kelsey, a few chats ago said, he wants me to do one every month. Kelsey, I will do it. But we got to get Fatal higher. that's the requirement. That's how we need the spark plug to do that. That's what I'm looking at. Because
part
if
of
it works,
this,
then I
it
can
really,
do that.
yeah, it really. I think Fatal's a cool, especially for Charlie. It's a cool. It's especially for me. It's a really cool opportunity. But to me, this is like he's jumping in to comics, and that's why I don't know. I want Charlie to be working in comics full time, not advertising. So I don't know.
Me too.
I'm glad to be part of this. But yeah, that's why we're promoting the book. And yeah, if you're backing it, it helps us to that end. I think that's it would be great to have more Charlie artwork out
each
there.
backer gets me because if it goes well enough, then after this, I'll do one with. Maybe I should say, name your favorite creator, and then I'll do another one with Clint, and then name another creator, and I'll do it with him, and then bounce back to Clint. That would be a lot of fun. I could do it monthly. Kelsey, because I've been turning out art at a high rate of speed for 15 years, and I'm just switching tracks to this, and it could work. So it's before the path is before us that we could provide it, and we can have a lot of fun.
There's a route. Yeah, it's just like it is. I don't know. Yeah, it's an incredible mountain to climb, but really great start. Appreciate everyone for supporting it. I wanted to mention something about this comment before I forget. From Jasper, Plan 9 says, if all the creators I buy books from started going more frequently, the books better clock in closer to 10 to 15 after shipping. I think that's a great point. I actually, in my opinion, I feel like moving the other direction is better. Like, I'd rather make the books bigger and released less frequently. I mean, within reason, twice a year or something, but bigger books, and that gets more story out there. I don't know. And what we need also is a colorist, because Charlie can't color everything. Kelsey says that's what I've been doing for 4 years now. Yeah, here we go. I'll pay you. I'll have to get a second job.
All right, guys, I'm in. You
did it. That's the thing, is it's like, I was thinking, especially for Charlie, it's like there's so many. I think there are tons of opportunities for you to make books, but again, it's just, it has to be sustainable. Part of it's making sure that he can get paid. Especially when you're the artist, it just takes so much time to do it. Learn to code. Could clean windows. That works.
Learn to color. Oh, Kelsey, the coloring. Does Kelsey? Why doesn't he just come in, Kelsey? Does the coloring take you longer than the drawing? It takes me longer. The coloring. Yeah,
Kelsey knows his coloring. That's for sure.
And he's phenomenal.
Supersized Clint. Oh my. Oh, that's probably referring to the book size or my waistline. Either. Oh
man, I'm supersized too, especially after eating all that ice cream. What did I say? I'm switching. My BMI is going up faster than the Falcon Heavy rocket.
Yeah,
it's spinning faster than the odometer. It's going up, and I think I'm gonna have a doctor's appointment soon, and I'm gonna walk in and they're gonna measure my BMI, and instead of coming in with the medical calipers to pinch, they're just gonna, let's just switch to the salad tongs because this fat fuck is ridiculous. You put on 40 pounds since you were here. Where have you been? Come to a checkup so your doctor could say, stop eating ice cream every night, you fat fuck. You can't just eat chicken wings and ice cream. That's not sustainable. Not sustainable.
Not sustainable. Very cool. I like talking about this stuff because I can see I see things forming, and maybe, I don't know, I'm sure for you, Peter, you're always looking at what, how to adjust and what's the next sort of pathway forward, which again is something I really dig about Alterna, is that you're looking for, to make sure you're positioned correctly. But for me, it's like, it was always just, I want to make a book. I just want to make a book. And so now it's cool seeing, like, how can I continue to make books at a reasonable pace? You know what I mean? It's sustainable, it's worth my time, and it's going to be, fulfilling for readers out there that are willing to back the books. And I don't know, I see the good news is I see a lot of routes forward that work. I guess it's just finding what works best for me in that case. So
yeah, there's a million different paths for everybody. So that's the thing, is that even the stuff I'm saying, someone out there could be like, well, that doesn't sound like anything that'll work for me. That's fine. There's no real right or wrong here. It's just different ways for everybody. So that's the thing. Yeah, I know that is wrong. See, I don't really see. This is why they don't like me.
No, I just once you said there's no right or wrong, I wanted to tell you that's wrong.
But yeah, that's the thing, is that there's so many ways to go about this. So, I hate seeing, if anyone, to me, the only wrong way about it is if you're doing it because you think other people expect you to do this.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the talk I had today with Ethan. He's like, you don't think like maybe I should do this because people are kind of just expecting that this is the next step for me? And I was like, well, whether that is the case or not, it depends. Do you want to do it? And if the answer is anything other than a resounding, confident yes, then it's a no. If it's like, maybe, it's a no. It's a no. You have to be just completely, yes, absolutely. This is 100% what I want to do. This makes sense to me. This is perfect. I want to have, this is how I thought things would go the whole time. This is what I want it to be. Then go for it. But if you're kind of wishy-washy on it, if you're still kind of feeling it out, it's not ready yet. So you gotta go back and mull it over some more. And maybe it takes a couple of years to get to that point. Who knows? But I think with what you're doing right now, I think is great because you're building up, and everybody's doing this too. Everybody's building up their catalog. Imagine 5 or 10 years from now, how many books you're going to have. I mean, that's incredible to think about that.
Yeah. And it takes time. So there's some patience involved. I don't know. To me, I've been trying for so long to get published, to get a book in a little story in an anthology, stuff like that. So to me, it actually feels like breakneck speed. The past 2 years have just felt like I'm publishing books. I've got the next book. Somebody just sent me a test page, actually. I just kind of peeked at it and kind of excited right now for something else. But it's just cool to, I don't know, think things are moving at least. Whereas, I don't know, I didn't feel like that way before. So it's great. Well, so Peter, I appreciate you coming on to share some of this stuff with us. I think you're a really knowledgeable guy. You're a very experienced guy. Alterna's been around for what, 12 years now?
14
years. 14. I shorted you 2 years. 14 years. That's
could I get the past 2 years back, perhaps?
Maybe not your favorite two. It's funny because the last 2 years have been the greatest for me. Like as far as
they've been wonderful for us in many different ways too. But yeah, what a
hear
nightmare.
I hear you. It's crazy.
Has everything calmed down personally, Pete? Is everything cool now?
It has, mostly because I just don't give it the time of day anymore. So I found that when I do that, things just eventually either go away, or when they get stirred up again, I just keep doing my thing, and that's it. Whereas before, I would actually give it some time, and it would affect me emotionally or however else, and you get upset about it or confused or whatever. But now I'm like, nah, no, it doesn't.
That's good to hear. As I'm getting older, and everybody used to always hear everyone's entitled to their opinion, and now that I've seen everyone's opinion, I'm starting to think, no, they're not. No,
no.
Shut up, everybody.
I'm not entitled to hear their opinion. Is the other part of it, which like for a while there, you feel like Twitter makes you feel like you're like a politician or something, and somebody raises a question, you have to answer it. But it's like, not really. If it's a ridiculous statement or ridiculous, but clearly they're just trying to make your life hard, you don't owe them anything. If they're asking about your book, or they, you know what I mean, like something that's actually related to what you're doing, that's a totally other matter. Kelsey Shannon says Clint pities the fool still trying to work in the mainstream. Again, I've been on so many streams the past 2 weeks, and everyone keeps asking, what book do you want to do for Marvel or DC? And my answer is, I don't. Like, legitimately don't care. I've got a list of books I want to do that are mine. But it's to each their own. If that's what you want to do, that's cool. But it's just not for me.
Seems like most of the mainstream doesn't want to be in the mainstream right now. So
we're living their dream right now. They all want to get out to be doing this. So that says something.
It's like the rock stars that want to be actors, the actors that want to be rock stars.
That's true. Sometimes the grass on the other side just isn't greener. You gotta, be happy with what you got. So I think we're gonna be wrapping up the stream here pretty soon. But
wait, let me just say this too, because
do
you want to draw Spider-Man or Batman, or a spaceman that's tooling around the galaxy with two smoking hot chicks on a speeder?
I mean,
that's what I want to draw. It's exactly what I want to draw.
I thought it was which one do I want to be?
Oh, well, that too. Either one.
Yeah, that works too. Yeah, here the one TMNT. I would love to do a TMNT story, but like I said, I'm not going to be actively. I'm not trying. I'm not asking, and I've no. I don't know. It's not. I just think the idea is cool, but I'm not actually pursuing any of that. So, yeah, should be cool. All right, so we got Fatal. This is the cool story that everyone's talking about. We're in 2 weeks into the campaign ish, 17 days left, and we've done really, really well for ourselves. I want to kick this thing up a notch, get to the next level. I want Charlie to be making comics full time so that we can enjoy this art always. So I don't know. We're just gonna push this as far as we can possibly push the thing until the wheels fall off of me. But yeah, so looking forward to this book. I think people are really gonna like it. This beats anything in the mainstream. I'm not just blowing smoke there. It's just true. Look at the artwork's fantastic. I'm very, very proud of the story. If you haven't checked it out yet, we got like 94 people watching. Check it out. I posted the link, I think, several times. I'm gonna post it again.
Do you want me to give you the rundown? The page
the
action rundown?
You want to do some narration, Charlie?
I love to. Let me just talk about my own artwork, please.
let's do it. Yeah, I always thought, like, we were talking about narration. I'm like, I don't know if that's, but it's actually cool to hear Charlie go through his thought process on sequential art. I like that.
Did you put I sent you a link to the newest colored one I did. The last colored one I'll post.
I got two links, and I just haven't put them in yet, so I apologize.
Okay.
But I can. Actually,
all right.
I'll pop them on screen too.
So anyway, there he is hanging off the side. This is page. What page is this? 9. This is page 9, where he's hanging off the side of this floating barge that's outside of an opulent, pristine city. And as he's hanging off the side of the barge, he has recently just careened off the side and thrown a grenade, and he's realizing he's in way over his head, and he's got to say, helmet on, and the helmet comes down for the first time in this story. And here he is hanging on, and there's his ship high above him, where his floating pal Eldridge is somewhere between the two, and he shouts into his wrist communicator to shoot off all the ballistic missiles. And then there's a pretty detailed close-up on the middle right panel. That would be panel, I don't know what you'd call it, panel 3. And he's saying, fire rockets, and there they come out, and they go firing off, and he's blasting these mofos as he's doing so. And there's maybe some shrieks of alien horror as he's blowing these bastards away. And then scroll down. And then so there's page 1. That's up. This is the calm before all of that description, as he's in low orbit over this beautiful planet that he doesn't want to be at. And there's the gull, as Clint named it, and we're hovering over. He lights a cigarette. He chills out. He's waiting for the credits to clear. Then scroll down, and this is back in the action. This is when all the ballistic rockets. He's just called in the risk communicator to fire ballistics, and here they come, spiraling in, zeroing in on the threat, as the threat is growing off the side of that barge, and he is pushing off of the floating barge, blasting his blaster as he does so. And back behind him is that shining city on a hill. It's so beautiful, or it looks so perfect, but it just maybe isn't. As zooming in past that explosion, as all those rockets hit their targets. And did Flynn make it? I think he made it past this part. And there's a glowing light in the window for my wandering boy, or my wandering girl with flying buttocks. And we zoom closer and closer as there's Moxie, as she's looking up out at the explosion. And then I give you the reverse angle. Here it is, and it's there's Kit with experiencing a certain amount of ennui. It's out the window, but I just don't care. I'm going to stay in the opulence here, in the go down in that blue tube of goodness.
Yeah.
There's that glowing
Double page spread.
Glowing, yeah. So it's a little harder to see because that is not a single page. That's 2 pages as Moxie turns around in all of her sexy glory and with her black leather jacket and red bodysuit. And she says, Kit, look at these explosions out the window. We just got to get out there. Isn't it wonderful? We've been living this life sheltered and we got to go out there. And she shouts across that big room, crowded with all of those fine personnel, who all these aristocrats, they're engaged in they're hooked up to their drones, and the drones are providing entertainment and intoxicants, euphoria and pleasure. And there still is Kit with her ennui. Oh, Moxie, don't you understand? There is nothing out there for you but pain and displeasure. And
this is word for word the dialogue too.
And then that bottom panel, Moxie bounds across the room, and she's got her arm up saying, out the window, that's where the fun is. And she's getting in Kit's face, and Kit essentially blows smoke in her face. Fuck you. You idiot kid. You're too young and, I was going to say dumb, young, and full of, but Moxie's not full of that. She's a lady. But you know the idea. So there's scroll down. This is the panel. This is the page. There's a panel that goes on this page that we edited out to show here the city back there, and that's right before his battle mask comes down, and he's hanging off the side. He's got his he's tethered securely. He earlier showed a little grappling hook in the page that we didn't show anywhere, and these beasts are popping up out of all these vents and air ducts, and they're ripping through the metal on this old rickety garbage barge. You know, so we have landfills. They have garbage barge. It's time to talk French for the rest of the campaign. Come and enjoy the radio play. We can show you, William. See, come and see and hear all the things while we blow away all these wretched mutants that can't enjoy life the way a real man, a beau vivant, can enjoy. Blast them fools away. And so he does that. And then the covers, if you scroll down, there's one more color page. I think you did put it up, even though I updated it. Covers. Yeah. So this is before he jumps off the side of the barge.
It's all
this is when he's first engaging with these mutant beast critters or whatever they are. And in that top one, the smoke is billowing around on this floating barge on this landing pad, whatever it is. And the beast is leaping onto him. He's missed 3 times because they're quicker and meaner than he thought. Sort of, you think you're going to engage with some zombies that just come after you? Oh, zombies eat brains. But it's not that kind of monster. It's the Will Smith Last Man on Earth kind of zombie. They're come at you really quick. And here it comes. It's leapt on top of him, snarling and gross and disgusting as he's firing his laser past it. And see, the monster's in sort of a 3-point stance with the one arm coming up from the top, the other one's down underneath him, and Flynn is blasting as this thing's quick and it's going past him. And there's his robot buddy, Eldridge, who's just sort of saying, a little trickier than you thought, a little too cocky going into this, you rat bastard. And there's Flynn underneath this thing as its mucus and bile drips down on his face. And then this actually is the next page. I did send this to you in color. I just called you Flynn.
Yeah, I'll correct it.
And so there's the floating barge on the left, and in color you'll see that the laser blasts are firing wildly all off the top of it. That's Flynn. He's so small you can't see him on that left side, as there's some ship that's also above him. And now to get out from underneath this weighty beast, he does this shoulder toss and then rolls and throws him to the side. And as he's going to run away now with, it's called leaving town, shooting your 6 gun. That's called a punitive withdrawal. As he's firing and seeing that there's more of these beasts dropping out of a ship, much to his confusion. And there on the bottom panel, he is leaping headfirst off the side of the barge, throwing a grenade back between his legs, and the whole thing is blowing up behind him. And then there's a page where he does something, and then it's it goes back to the top where he's hanging off the side. And then there's one more page in black and white, I think. And these are all. Somebody said we should put more pages out. What are you kidding?
No, we
This
have
is
plenty
10,
of pages.
This is 10 pages. This is a
Yeah,
preview.
this is more than enough pages.
Here's page 15. This is Clint's beautifully named Fosca. She is the tyrannical lady, the tyrannical aristocrat who, right here, this guy here is, I think, did you say King? You named him. You did name him.
Yeah, he's a lieutenant in the Royal Guard.
He might actually be the guy whose voice you hear in the trailer.
Yeah.
Who has called Flynn because he did have a job to do, and a real tyrant sometimes punishes you even for doing the right thing. That we know Stalin and Lenin and Saddam Hussein did. Even though Saddam Hussein had really great taste, he liked Johnny Walker Black. But anyway, we go back to the top. So she's spreading her cape, and the serpents are coming up out of her cape and out of her cloak, and they're in that middle left panel. They're coming towards him, and this guy's starting to realize in that middle panel, panel 3, I guess it would be, they're spiraling up towards him as he's surprised and then horrified with the close-up of his eye as she in that middle wide cinematic panel watches coolly and coldly as she knows what they're about to do. And in the bottom left panel, they rise up his body as she's raising her hand, and they're starting to strangle the life out of him, and she gives it the squeeze, and they start to squeeze the life out of him as his sinews and bones start crackling and popping. And there's is that crack that's in there, and that might be all for that poor sucker.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with Fosca. Don't F with Fosca.
Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, really cool stuff. You can hear the excitement in Charlie's voice, and the one of the cool things about just this project was, you know, putting together. It really is a passion project. You know, this is something that Charlie had some ideas. He drew up some sketches and some stuff of what he really wanted.
Clint, you're giving me way too much credit. Charlie had 3 drawings and 3 characters, and I essentially said, "Here's a guy who's." I was calling him Jack, and Jack is a moron, but he's good at what he does. You can be kind of dumb and good at what you do. I feel I'm kind of a dumb idiot that's good at what I do. You know, Pete seems a little more strategic and clever. You guys start talking about those. You're a little smarter than your average bear. Dumbos like me, we just have sort of one thing, and we get pointed in a direction and we keep going. So I had 3 dumb pages, and I said, Clint, what are these? And Clint, spun gold came out of his pen or his mouth, whatever. If he was telling me, spun gold out of the pen, and you laid out the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm really, really excited about it, and it is a passion project. It's also a passion project for me, because to me I really get to show off my writing with just outstanding, excellent art, and I don't know, it's a lot of fun. I love doing sci-fi. You can tell now I've done like 2 sci-fi titles, and so I'm looking forward to it. I really think people are going to like this. So yeah, again, links in the description. Check it out. At the very least, you got to go check it out. The problem is once you go there, it's not a problem, but you're going to want to back it anyway. So I appreciate everyone for watching the stream. Peter, thanks for coming on and talking to us a little bit. Charlie, it's always good to see you too. Good to chat. I think we'll wrap it up, and I don't know that I have one scheduled for tomorrow on another channel, so I might just do my own stream again, and we'll figure out some news to talk about and make it timely. We had a great turnout. We're hovering right around 90 people, 95, 85, somewhere in there, almost the whole time. So appreciate everyone for turning out. Excellent. Thanks, everybody, and I will see you in the next video.